You should have gone for the head.
Concussions are nothing to joke by. Asgard's asshole, stop!
Alright, so Guardians of the Galaxy. I understand this is James Gunn's first film in the MCU, and I understand it had ramifications because of how well it did. You understand, when a movie does this good, as good as it did, understand, everybody starts to, let's say, try to emulate it in a sense, because as far as I know, after this, people like the Suicide Squad came out. Understand, when you watch this film, I was like, damn, this thing doesn't suck. You know, this is where things got weird. Understand, because you spend time on Earth and Asgard, and you're like, man, they're basically humans. You know what I'm saying? Like, there wasn't that big of a shift. Like, yeah, sure, we had thought that the elves, but they just spoke a different language. They weren't completely different. But for me, one of the questions I had when I started the movie, so Peter Quill goes to Morag to get the Power Stone, right? Why is Morag abandoned? Understand, that was the one question I'm talking about. Because understand, you have such a big power source. You have a whole Infinity Stone locked away for some reason on an abandoned planet. That was the only question I had. I was like, why? And then you see this group of ragtag niggas, because now Peter Quill took the orb and Yondu put a bounty on him. Now you get Rocket the Raccoon and Groot. They're like, alright, we're bounty hunters. Let's go catch this nigga. Alright, valid, go do your job. And suddenly how they become such a ragtag team. You always see Peter Quill trying to be the hero. So I'm watching this film and I've started to very much enjoy it. Like the whole action set pieces, the escape from the prison was very interesting for me, because it showcased the genius that is Rocket Raccoon. Understand, he's not just a raccoon.
Rocket, wanted on over 50 charges of vehicular theft and escape from lockup.
He was experimented on throughout time. Like, for me, like, it showed that, because it said that he and Groot had escaped 20 prisons at the time, and I'm like, okay, all right. And the way he did it in this film, it was like, shit, this man really was, the brains of the operation. I don't know, like, you look at it, you have the muscle that is Groot and Drax, and then still Gamora, understand? And then you have the brains that is Rocket, and you have Peter Quill. He does something. He does stuff. But yeah, no, understand. When I look at this movie, I'm gonna give it, I don't know, 8.5. It's not as good as my Winter Soldier and all that jazz, but it's definitely a good film, and I very much enjoyed it. If you do get the chance, I'm telling you right now, watch it. And on to the next. And for the last film of second last film. So we come back to the Avengers. Understand, Avengers 2 Age of Ultron, 2015. I now watched one with my friend Gabriel. Bro, I saw it down when that movie dropped. Yes! The hype around it was such a good thing. And, when you watch it, there are a few points here and there, but let's get into that. Understand, since the fall of Hydra and the fall of S.H.I.E.L.D., the Avengers are now forming back together to get the scepter that they lost in Avengers 1. You're like, okay, let's get this thing going. Understand, in that first fight scene, you see the cohesion. Understand that they lacked a bit of in the first film. I always felt that, when you watch them actually go at it, you're like, like they had actual set pieces set up, like Thor and Captain America. They were like, alright, no. That is a combination, you know what I'm saying? Combo moves, all that. You're like, yes. And then, right, for me, the one thing, the Bruce and Nat thing, no. I swear it down. If there's ever anything I dislike in a movie, it's that forced romance between Bruce and Natasha. So they encounter the twins. I really like that young power display. When Aaron Taylor Johnson's Pietro Maximoff did the whole line of, you didn't see that coming. You're like, okay, nice. Because as a fan of Quicksilver and Speedsters as a whole, I was very happy to see it. I'm not gonna lie to you. Wanda Maximoff, seeing her powers, that was very interesting. The hallucinations, the foreshadowing, all that. And so now they get the scepter, and Tony and Bruce, they just want peace of all time. Understand? So they go on to build a global peacekeeping program, Ultron, and they fail, or they succeed in a sense. So I very much like the party scene, you know.
Okay.
Never one to shrink from an honest challenge.
Get after it.
It's physics. All right, so if I lift it, I then rule Asgard?
Yes, of course.
I will be reinstituting Prima Nocta.
Where they had everybody there. They had Maria Hill, they had Falcon, Rhodey. They made the call back to Pepper and Jane Foster, even though in their absence. It was just more sense to show that whole thing of it's all connected. And I'm like, yeah, no, I understand. For me, that was valid, you know. And the whole thing of them trying to lift Thor's shield, that was such a young bonding moment. Because you want to see them becoming a little bit more of a team, you know. So the fight, Ultron escaped, teamed up with the twins. It was very interesting to see, you know, because you have the big villain that is Ultron, and then you have the two minor in Pietro and Wanda, and you're like, okay, because I was very curious to see what they could do. Understand? Yes, we have speed. We want to see real speed, bro. We want to see real speed.
You didn't see that coming?
Iron Man 3, they said, Tony said we create our own demons, right? And then Ultron went on to say, people create what they dread. You know, invaders create Avengers. You see, the Loki created the Avengers when he came to invade. Like Killian Coulson, understand? He made the team bond over the death, and suddenly they were like, "Alright, let's kick Loki's ass." Understand? And in this sense, so the twins were born out of Tony Stark's weapons being used in the wrong sense. Understand? Shell collapsed their house and killed both their parents. They waited 2 days for Tony Stark to kill them, and that developed their rage to join the Hydra and gain their powers. In doing so, helping Ultron. Understand? For me, my biggest question will always be, what did the Hulk see? You know, what was his mind game when he came to Wanda's mind games? Because we never got to see it. We just saw Hulk take on Iron Man, and yes.
In the back? Dick move, Banner.
The final fight scene where it was all of me versus all of you, said Ultron. I felt like that was it was like a comic book payoff.
This is the best I can do. This is exactly what I wanted. All of you against all of me. How can you possibly hope to stop me?
Like the old man said. Together.
And I'm like, wow. I don't know, for me, I'm gonna give the movie an 8. Honestly, an 8. Because I loved it. As much as you can always nitpick anything. You can nitpick anything, I swear it down. But I genuinely enjoyed the film. And it ended off with us seeing our big bad Titan, Thanos, just literally take the gauntlet out and tell us that he'll do it himself. That means no more adversaries, no more Ronins. That means he's coming. This was a leap, a large step into the larger picture that is the Infinity War, the Infinity Saga. So in that time, I think we had how many? We had the Ether, we had the Mind Stone, we had we had the Space Stone in the Tesseract. That's our 3. Yes. Power Stone. Yeah, we had 4 in play. Power Stone, Ether, Space Stone, Mind Stone. We had 4 of the 6. Understand? And it's set up so nicely, bro. And last one, I think it's Ant-Man. Let's finish this thing, bro. And the last film for phase 2 is Ant-Man. Understand, I rewatched this recently and I felt like, yo, I swear I've never seen this movie before. I was honestly shocked at what I was watching, in a good way, understand? Like, seeing Hank Pym, seeing Howard Stark, seeing Peggy, you know, as the big 3 founders of S.H.I.E.L.D., you're like, nah, this shit is tight, bro. I was very interested in that. I was like, yeah, this is actually some dope ass shit, you know what I'm saying? And the creation of the pin particle, all that, and I was like, so this is so I felt that the comedy was a very big, it was very much necessary. It was very necessary. Yeah, you have a man like Paul Rudd dropping you zingers left and right. You're like, damn.
Show me how to punch. Show me how to punch.
And it was basically a hero's origin story. You know, a criminal trying to do good by his daughter, and so he steals, and he steals from the wrong guy. Understand? And that guy used to be the Ant-Man. So now he finds a new apprentice in Scott Lang. And you're like, okay, Hank Pym meeting Scott Lang. Let's get this through. Let's see where this goes. Understand, the villain was Darren Cross. So, okay, I want to put these things two up, right? So, Iron Man 1 and Ant-Man is the same thing.
How could you say that?
Understand, if you look at it, there are small changes, but it's the same thing. Like, you look at Ironmonger, you look at Darren Cross. They're the same nigga.
The heck are you?
I just told you that. Listen, I'm from the future.
How dare you point at me?
You were pointing first.
Rude to point.
You look at you look at Ironmonger, you look at Yellow Jacket. Understand? It's literally a carbon copy of the other guy, which would be Iron Man and what's the name? Ant-Man. Understand? So I'm basically you in a different suit with more weapons. That is the fight. That is the fight. And you're like, no, thank you. I understand it's the formula. It is literally the formula. You copy, you paste. I enjoyed the film. I'm not gonna lie to you. I put it up as a decent 7. And yeah, no, genuinely, I felt that, this is some top tier shit. It's a good one for me. And I like the Ant-Man versus Falcon thing. Like, they do small cameos here and there. Like, the thing is, you want to show that, okay, we are in our own pocket dimension, but you also want to show we're part of the bigger picture. We didn't forget. I just feel like my favorite part, I don't really have a favorite part of that movie, but what I want to speak about in closing, the end credits scene for Ant-Man. Understand, it showed Bucky, Falcon, and Steve Rogers.
Hey, Cap!
This would have been a lot easier a week ago.
If we call Tony,
No, he won't believe us.
even if he did,
Who knows if the Accords will let him help?
we're on our own.
Maybe not. I know a guy.
Out of context, this is one of the greatest. You were like, what the fuck is going on? Understand, you don't put the next part of a movie in a movie that's just about to end. Understand, I'm not gonna put the beginning piece of the next movie as my movie ends. Understand? But when you watch that back in 2015, you were in wowzers. Like, nigga, what the fuck's going on? Nigga, what the fuck's going on? Understand? But yeah, I enjoyed phase 2. Realistically, it's where stuff started to get a lot better. I'm not saying that phase 1 was trash, but this is a step up from phase 1. And more so, let's see how far we get. Understand, phase 3 is around the corner. And I guess that's it for now. Thank you guys for making it this far. I really do appreciate it. It's your boy Isaac Mbai coming at you live from my humble abode. Signing out. Thanks. Let's get out of here, bro.